What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And in this review, I'm going to talk about the game Time Soldiers, which was released for the arcade by SNK and Alpha Pensy. And it was later ported to the Sega Master System, Amiga, Atari ST, and Commodore 64. And pretty much the plot of the game is that two unnamed soldiers travel through time to rescue their comrades and stuff. Now, for the sake of this review, I'm going to talk about mainly the Sega Master System version because of the fact that you only have a certain number of continues in this version, unlike the other versions where the continues are pretty much unlimited, you know. And pretty much the game is set in 5 different time periods, which are the primitive age, the age of Rome, the World Wars, the Age of War, and the Future World. And each time period has its own set of enemies and stuff like that. For example, in the primitive age, pretty much you fight enemies that consist of cavemen and different types of dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying, like a Triceratops and stuff like that. And when you're talking about like future wars, you pretty much fighting like pretty much futuristic type enemies and stuff like that. You know, now the bosses in the game are the T-Rex, which is the boss of the primitive age, the Gladiator, which is the boss in the Age of Rome stage, the Blue Tank, which is the boss of the World Wars stage, the Monk in the Age of War stage, the Robot, which is the boss of the Future World stage, and the final boss. I don't know the name of this particular boss when it's come to the final boss. All I know is the name of the final boss is the final boss. Which, I'll be honest, that is pretty much generic. You know what I'm saying? And all that. And Time Soldiers is a two-player co-op. But instead of like pressing like select and start for the two-player co-op, you pretty much press number 2 when you play the Sega Master System version if you want the two-player co-op and stuff like that. And of course, like a lot of shoot 'em up games, Time Soldiers have some power ups and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And you pick them up by taking out certain enemies, and you'll see something called P ups or power ups, and they pretty much consist of like missiles, laser spears, and triple shooting. You know what I'm saying? But what makes these power up different from say most shoot 'em ups like say Contra or Radius and stuff like that is the fact that the power up weapons for time soldiers is pretty limited. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to do is like save these particular power ups, regardless if you have the laser spears or the missiles, is to reserve them for one of the bosses. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the Gladiator or the T-Rex and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And and there's a certain number of sub bosses that you will encounter through the course of one of the stages, whether you're talking about the Age of Rome or the primitive age. You know what I'm saying? And of course, these sub bosses are pretty much like consistent with the stage that you're on and stuff. Now, the graphics and design for Time Services are pretty good, and they have some nice color palettes too. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the Sega Master System version, you know. Now, the controls and gameplay are good, but there should have been more power ups in the games for you to pick besides the 3 that I mentioned. You know what I'm saying? It should have been like somewhere between like say 5 and 7 power ups overall. You know, uh, the soundtrack is pretty good and it matches the tone of the game in my opinion. Now, the the main rap that I do have is the difficult. It's like time social is hard, but it's not too hard to the point that it's pretty much unplayable and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now I will say that Time Soldier it is easier if you have somebody to play with you and stuff. But from overall standpoint, Time Soldiers is a good game that ended up being like a hidden gem and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't remember anybody like talking about it back in the day when I was in school and stuff. When this game was like released in the arcade for the home consoles and stuff. Now, as far as the score, I definitely give Time Soldiers an 8 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, you can sound off in the comment section about Time Soldiers, whether you like the arcade version or the Atari ST version and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you like this video, don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. This is your boy Big Metro Fan 12 signing off.